Do you like cats? I like cats. So let's look at some cats today. I wanted to go through the street cat wiki with you all because it's really all I do in my free time. If I have free time, I'm looking at cat videos. If you see me on my phone and I'm laughing, I am currently watching a cat video. Those little furry creatures just bring so much joy into my life, something that not many other things can really do. So let's go ahead and scroll through this. It's pretty much like a Wikipedia setup. They have the main page here, but I just wanted to go through the list of cats with you all because they're all quite their own characters. You got Brother Valentine, Dr. Smudge, Goobert, who happens to be on the top cats of the week because every single week they have a voting, they have a poll. You can vote on like the best cats from Hello Street Cats, and this week's top 3 were the Gluttonous Beast, Mr. Fresh, Goobert, and then the runner-ups were Mr. Piss and Mr. Shock. So why don't we just go ahead and get a quick rundown on all these famous cats here, starting off with number 1, the Gluttonous Beast, also known as Mr. Glutton, Mr. Speed, TGB, the Gluttony, and the Beast. They also have like a full description, like his sex, rarity, coat, occupation. His occupation is eating for extended periods of time, the destroyer of kibble. And if you read his description here from his character log, it says he is an orange and white ticked tabby whose distinct trait is pure hunger due to being observed eating kibbles with an average of 2 to 3 munches per second, averaging to 150 munches per minute. He is the fastest and longest lasting kibble destroyer to be spotted in Mr. Fresh's feeder. And not to mention, he's also number 1 cat of the week right now. And here's a picture it shows us here. It says it's Mr. Piss towering over the small gluttonous beast. And if you'll recall, Mr. Piss is the runner-up for this week's favorite cat. So that's a bit of a crossover right there, the clashing of 2 titans. But one thing's for sure, the gluttony of this kibble destroyer cannot be matched. And now we'll move on to Mr. Fresh, who you may know. He's the sus cat, the one that makes the very funny face. They got him in the fucking corners and everything. But it says his other names are Fresh Brother, Sus Cat, or Side-Eye Cat, Mr. Evil, and for some reason, Mr. Poop. And Mr. Fresh, just in case you don't know, he's like the face of street cats. He's like the GOAT when it comes to being a street cat on these cam feeding live streams. He's like Raleigh Reed when it comes to that shit. He's just the best of the best. He knows what he's doing, and he's getting all the attention he deserves for it. And also, I found out while looking into this that he has since been adopted. Mr. Fresh has a home. He looks happy and healthy and all that, and that's very good to see. It's very wholesome that some of these cats from this are getting adopted because they are street cats. They do need homes, and they need, proper medical care taken care of and all that. So it's good to see it when it actually happens, especially because of the very dark and sad side of this street cat stuff. There's like a syndicate, there's like a crime family. It's not a crime family, it's a group of douchebags, a group of low-life scumbags who are putting bounties on these cats' heads. Mr. Fresh had the highest bounty at the time, and that's just absolutely disgusting. It's sickening seeing that exists, that people are literally putting bounties and paying for the death of these cats. Like, that's just, you're not even human at that point. It's just real depressing stuff, but we can move on, get back to the bright side here. Look at these goofy cats. And third place is Goobert, which you can see the reason why his name is Goobert, because he's a little goofy looking fella. He's a little goobly looking guy. And it says that his distinct trait is that his back has no tabby markings on it, which makes him resemble a corn dog. And it most definitely does. He looks like one of those fuzzy, what are they, cattails, I think they're called. And as for his behavior, it says Goobert is a bit of a goober. He's very silly, but also is brave, as he took down Mount Kibble once. Goobert's a very special boy. Treat him with kindness. And he also is very patient, it says, and he waits his turn for the feeder. So he's a very respectable, kind young gentleman. And now, as for Mount Kibble, it's whenever the pile of kibbles gets so high that it blocks the camera. And it says its main enemy is Miss Kibble, who once ate 50% of it. And we can go ahead and take a look at Miss Kibble. She's not on the top of this week, but she is a very famous cat nonetheless. And yeah, that right here's what looks to be a screenshot from when she was furiously crunching on Mount Kibble, eating nearly 50% of it. A gluttonous beast for sure. Only second to the gluttonous beast himself. And then the first runner-up here is our lovely Mr. Piss. And if you want to take a guess as to why his name is Mr. Piss, I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. It says he thought it was a good idea to take a small pea into the feeder and then proceeded to have a verbal fight with another cat off screen, leading to him being thought of as an inconsiderate lad. Which, yeah, it's kind of villainous behavior right there. It's kind of shady stuff to do, man. It's going to make you the enemy of the state for sure. These cats are going to hate you. And if you scroll down on each one of these cats, they also have like a sighting list of how, like, when and where they were all sighted on like each date and time, which is pretty cool. And there's also catspiracy theories they throw on here, and it says it has been theorized that Mr. Piss and Mr. Brawl are the exact same cat. And it's also theorized that that Fresh Imposter might also be Mr. Piss. So Mr. Piss, Mr. Brawl, and Fresh Imposter might have been the same cat all along. And I just wanted to go back to Mr. Fresh because I forgot to talk about his appearances. He's one of the most well-documented of the cats, as well as one of the most famous. And this one here is a picture. It says, Mr. Fresh judging you. He knows what you did. And it looks like he's taking on Mount Kibble right there, too. I don't know how good he did, but nonetheless, this is a very nice cat, very nice man. And they actually have some pictures on here of after Mr. Fresh getting adopted, him hanging out in the window there, and you know, him getting mad, him hissing, him in his new lovely little home, being a little goofball, attempting to climb but fails. Yeah, Mr. Fresh he's quite the character for sure. And then of course we have the also famous Mr. Shock, which is where all those great little Christmas gifts and stuff came from, of like the cat looking at Santa Claus, catching him in the act of giving presents under his tree. And obviously it says he got his phrase from having the iconic clip of being extremely shocked when the food was dispensing. And the behavior of Mr. Shock, it says the personality of this confused cat is not well documented. He doesn't understand technology and is quite shocked at the thought of cloud feeding, which, as you can tell right there, this doofus clearly does not understand technology, and the cloud feeding definitely does shock him. And as for sightings, it says he's one of the most rare sightings. I think he's only been sighted one time, which has led people to theorize some catspiracies of maybe he got adopted, maybe someone stole him, maybe the syndicate people got him. That's a really dark one to think of, but there's very many different possibilities, or maybe he's just a shy little guy and he likes to be like a shiny Pokemon. It's just a very rare encounter to see him. And they also have a list of entities on here of just like stuff that pops up on the stream, which Miss Chicken would be one. It's a chicken that occasionally pops up on the stream and eats the cat food. And then there's Mr. Sonic, of course, which led to the infamous, very funny, murderous intent cat behind Mr. Sonic, the hedgehog eating the cat food. This is just this is the greatest thing that anyone has brought to the human experience. This might be the greatest revolution that humans have brought up on this earth. The greatest thing to ever be invented was this street cat feeding cam. There literally is nothing that could ever bring me this much joy. The day that I get married and have children of my own, maybe even grandchildren, I will not be as happy as I am when I scroll through goofy little cat videos and these street cams of these silly little beasts. These little goobers just make me the happiest man in the world. And now I just want to scroll through. The rest of this video is just going to be me scrolling through the all... God damn it. It's going to be me scrolling through all of the identified cats on this camera. Starting off with like Brother Valentine, Dr. Smudge, Mr. Bald is one of my favorite right there. You got Mr. Fat, Mr. Fresh, of course, Miss Kirby. Then there's the Gluttonous Beast, whose picture is by far probably the funniest one on this website. Then you got like Mr. Ghost, Mr. Swole. He's been hitting the gym. Yeah, hell yeah. Mr. Despair, that's a very famous one as well. The Snack Children, which are the little kittens who hop on there. And then you got Mr. Horseshoe. For some reason, Mr. Sweet Pea is just a drawing. And they also have these separated into the different feeders. There's, of course, Mr. Fresh's feeders. I think Mr. Fresh has 2 different feeders. And then there's the duck feeder, Mr. Pilad's feeder, which is the home of Mr. Scam, who apparently scams people. Like, he'll basically scam people into donating more to feed him more. And then he'll just, you know, keep eating. And he's a scam artist is what he is. He knows what he's doing. And then they have other unlisted cats like Miss Big, Mr. Fear, which is that scared little kitten that gets scared of the feeder. Love that little guy. And that appears to be the end of it. That's the end of this little list that they have here. That's all of the identified cats that have hopped on here. And then also there's that list of the non-cat entities, just the entities as they call them. And now I want to show you this GIF because it's not from these cam videos, I don't think. It's from a different thing, but it's still so fucking funny. It's the, he's right behind me, isn't he? Aw, cat. He's just so scared, so frightened. He's right behind me, isn't he? Man, it's just that's the only reason I get on Instagram or Twitter these days is to look at cat videos and cat memes. It's genuine the only reason I scroll through social media, because the rest of it's just literal garbage. It's just literal shit-filled garbage. And cats are the only bright spot in the darkness of social media right now. But other than that, I'll catch you in the next one and hope you have a great day.